So Big Swole, coconut oil isn't healthy?
Can you believe that shit?
It's the GAINZ Trust. All right, Big Swole. USA Today just published an article based on research by the American Heart Association. I have the article right here in my hand with some highlighted bits and pieces.
Interesting parts.
The article headlined, "Coconut oil isn't healthy, full stop."
Never has been.
Well, not quite. It's never been healthy, full stop.
Ouch.
Link in the description box to the full article. We're not going to read through it. You guys can do that for yourself.
Yeah.
But we have, as I mentioned, highlighted some bits and pieces, pointed out some topics of discussion. The American Heart Association recently released a report advising against the use of coconut oil. So the American Heart Association, the same association that has been preaching high-carb, low-fat diets for decades, has advised against the use of coconut oil.
Yeah.
And their reasoning for advising against the use is they did this study and they showed that coconut oil increased LDL cholesterol, which is generally referred to as bad cholesterol.
Yeah.
That's a whole different topic of discussion.
Yeah,
but let's go with bad cholesterol. In 7 out of 7 controlled trials, so 100% of the time. And the researchers didn't see a difference between coconut oil and other oils high in saturated fat, like butter, beef, fat, and palm oil. So they've compared oils, saturated fat oils, looking at the effect these saturated fat oils have on bad or LDL cholesterol. And they found that all of them increase LDL cholesterol, and coconut oil 100% of the time increases LDL cholesterol. And based on that, they've said coconut oil has never been healthy.
It's interesting, isn't it? The funny thing is, man, like with studies these days, you can pretty much make a study, whatever you want the conclusion to be, you make the study around that.
And often they have a conclusion and they make a study to suit the conclusion.
Exactly,
often.
exactly.
So there's a couple of things here. Straight up, American Heart Association, as I mentioned, has been preaching low-fat, high-carb diets. Well, not necessarily high-carb, but getting the majority of your calories from carbohydrates and very small percentage of your calories from fats. In fact, they actually state in here that they recommend eating no more than 6% of your total daily caloric intake from saturated fat.
6%.
Very small.
So for the average male or female that's eating 100 grams of fat per day, have 6 grams from saturated fat.
Correct.
If you have one bit of steak, you're going to have more saturated fat in that than what they recommend.
That's right.
So this is, I guess, the Australian equivalent of this is the Australian Heart Foundation.
Correct.
Who gave McDonald's a tick of approval for nuggets and cheeseburgers to say that they're healthy.
Okay. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I actually just found this out like
Did you do
an
that
hour
just
ago.
driving past Macca's on the way?
Yeah. Well, I actually checked and Googled it and got, there's like 9 different meals that you can get that has the Heart Foundation tick of approval.
Wow, there you go. The American Heart Association obviously have had this agenda of low fat, high carb, and that's why I guess they've kind of picked this research to say, look, this is the conclusion we want to get to, and we're therefore going to pick this research to kind of suit that conclusion. And as we mentioned, you know, kind of having a little bit of a hidden agenda to start off with.
Well, as they always do.
And I think, you know, there's a lot of people who read this who go, shit, you know, I thought coconut oil was healthy. You know, I've been using it, and especially in the health and fitness industry, a lot of people interested in health and fitness have been, you know, been preached the benefits of coconut oil as a healthy fat for years and use it quite frequently. So I think really what we need to do for the viewers at home watching this is, you know, to kind of just get some facts across. About coconut oil. And we prepared a few here. So coconut oil, obviously vegan, obviously natural, source of saturated fats. And it contains about 82% saturated fats. Does coconut oil. It's been shown to boost both LDL, which is the bad cholesterol, which is what has been shown in this study, what's reported on in this news story, but also boost HDL, which is your good cholesterol.
Well, yeah, and just on that quickly. So you know, the whole good and bad of your cholesterol, your LDL and your HDL is a little bit I guess, jaded at the moment. I actually was just listening to a bit of a study on the way back here from where I just went, been out on the road. But and they actually found a correlation between your HDL, which is meant to be your good cholesterol.
Yes.
So high levels of HDL actually cause death as well.
If you go too high.
If you go too high.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the 1 minute they're saying that your LDL too high, it will cause heart disease.
Yes.
Same thing. LDL too high cause death as well.
It works in both ways, and it's really 100%. The ratio that's important.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
the ratio. But this study, they only looked at LDL. They didn't look at HDL at all.
Because it's obviously perceived as being that bad cholesterol.
Correct. Coconut oil, another fact about coconut oil, is that it contains medium chain triglycerides in quite a high percentage, possibly the highest percentage.
Well, the article actually said it only contains about 15%.
Well, that's just wrong.
No, mate, this is what they said.
No, the article's wrong.
They said 13 to 15% medium chain triglycerides.
Another factual.
So there we go.
Inaccuracy on behalf of USA Today.
They know what they're talking about.
Coconut oil contains approximately 65% medium chain triglycerides. Medium chain triglycerides, as opposed to long chain triglycerides, which are commonly found in most saturated fat sources. Medium chain triglycerides will boost your metabolic rate for about 2 weeks from when you start taking them, and then your body kind of self-regulates and gets back to normal. But it will have a positive effect on your metabolic rate. But more importantly, it actually increases lipolysis, which is your body's ability to break down fatty acids and use them for energy when compared to LCLs.
Yep.
So if you're comparing saturated fats from other sources compared to the saturated fat that you get from coconut oil, which is very high in MCTs, your body's actually going to be able to use those MCTs as a source of energy much more efficiently than it is other saturated
fats. So that bit of fat that's on the piece of your steak, your body can use the calories from your coconut oil a lot easier than what it can.
Absolutely.
That's what you're saying.
Absolutely.
From that bit of steak, the bit of fat on your steak.
Correct.
Right? Yeah.
And then another cool thing about coconut oil is that it can be used for cooking up until its smoking points, up until about 175 degrees, without producing any carcinogens.
Yep.
Which is, once again, something that's quite unique to coconut oil. A lot of saturated fats, when you heat them, will actually start to produce carcinogens, which are obviously cancer-causing bits and pieces. Not good for your health at all.
Definitely not.
So those are some facts on coconut oil, which they didn't mention in this article at all.
Well, when you're going to bash a product, mate, why would you mention the good stuff?
But I'm not, this is the GAINZ Trust, man. We ain't going to sit here and say,
no, of course not.
And say coconut oil is completely healthy, because there are some other things that we do need to kind of address.
Absolutely.
With coconut oil. On the other side, that once again weren't addressed in this article, it's not a very well put together article.
It's not.
Is that coconut oil, being a source of saturated fats and being an oil that is almost 100% saturated, 100% fat, of which 82% is saturated, is a very dense source of calories. Dense to the point where you're talking 1 gram of coconut oil is going to yield 9 calories.
Yep. And everybody knows that.
Hugely
when you compare
dense.
it to protein and carbs being 4 calories per gram, so
well, correct.
Yeah.
And but you got to remember as well that most foods that contain proteins and carbs don't contain 100% protein, 100% carbs.
Definitely not.
If you're looking at another source of fats, for example, if you're looking at like well, let's use an unsaturated fat. Let's use a nut, for example. Most nuts are going to yield about 50% fat. Coconut oil is 100% fat. So a gram of coconut oil is 9 calories. Incredibly dense source of calories, which is something that I think a lot of people, when they kind of think about the benefits of coconut oils, as we've discussed, the boosting HDL cholesterol, the MCTs, and the positive effect they have on your metabolic rate and lipolysis and the ability to cook with it, just go and like overdo it.
Well, put it on everything.
Put coconut oil on everything.
You got to put it on your chicken. You got to put it on. You got to cook your eggs in it. You have a scoop of it. Eat it straight out of the jar with lunch.
Yeah.
And that's where that you can be eating too much.
Well, they get in the mindset where because it's healthy, it's got all these health benefits, is you can eat as much of it as you want, and because it's healthy, you're going to be just fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
The fact of the matter is, it's a fat, and it's a source of saturated fats, and the laws of thermodynamics are still apply.
Yeah.
And if you eat too many calories and you consume more calories than your body requires in any period of time, you're going to be in a caloric surplus. And if you're in a caloric surplus, you are going to put on body fat. And if you put on body fat, you're going to have all the health complications that go along with having increased body fat.
100%, man. Could not have said it better.
And I really think, like, if they wanted to do a headline article that says coconut oil isn't healthy, has never been healthy, that's possibly the route they should have gone down.
Yeah, rather than actually just trying to bring up
bash
bullshit,
the shit out of
figures.
coconut
Yeah,
oil.
exactly. So, yeah, but you know, the thing is, when you look at, you know, as we were saying, that balance of saturated and unsaturated fat and what you have to get, your fats are obviously going to create cholesterol.
Correct.
Your body needs cholesterol. And
Absolutely.
that's, you know, like hormone production, you know, bile production,
brain function, bone
density. You know, you need to have that body fat. Sorry, not that body fat. You need to be able to consume fats. Saturated fats to produce those hormones and all that other stuff to keep your body healthy.
Absolutely.
So you can't cut all of the saturated fats out of your diet completely. Because, you know, there's going to be that side effect. And, you know, you aren't going to be healthy. So it really comes down to having that balance.
Absolutely.
You know, having that balance and finding that right balance of your unsaturated and your saturated fats.
Like everything.
Absolutely.
All comes down to balance.
Yep.
One interesting thing that I did find in my research on this was quite a good source. I'm going to throw a link down in the description box to this as well. Our good friends over at examine.com, who are very well regarded with ingredient research and whatnot, have quoted that the kind of ideal daily intake of coconut oil to get the benefits on your metabolic rate of the MCTs and to get the benefits of increased lipolysis is actually between 7.5 and 10 grams of coconut oil per day.
So is that like a teaspoon?
That's not a lot of coconut oil.
That is like...
I know a lot of people, one of them works here, Boss Josh.
Well, I actually asked him.
Consume a shitload more
he said
than 10 grams.
He said usually it's about 3 tablespoons.
Yeah.
Which would be, I reckon, at least
grams.
Minimum. You know, 50 to 70 grams.
Possibly more.
Yeah, of coconut oil a day. Mind you, I did have a look at his blood tests. He did have those done recently, and yeah.
You let me look at his blood tests?
Of course,
Shit.
of course.
Estrogen a little high?
I don't know. I didn't look at that bit. But his cholesterol levels were fine. You know, they say that the safe range is between like 2.5 and 5.2, I believe, 5.5, I believe, and his was about 4.2.
Oh, there you go.
So you know, his cholesterol levels were still fine, and that, you know, once again, it's finding that balance. But you know, and I'm not going to recommend for everyone to go out and eat 3 tablespoons of coconut oil every day. But that's obviously what he does. So yeah, you just have to really find that balance and not making sure you're overindulging on one particular fat.
Absolutely.
And it's the same with anything, man. You should be always changing up the different types of foods that you eat, and that includes the fat sources that you're going to eat. Whether it's, you know, you're getting it from, you know, whether it's from meats or nuts or you know, eggs, whatever it might be. You know, if overindulging in one particular thing is not going to be healthy.
Of course. Yeah. And I think that's really what it comes down to, guys. Coconut oil, probably not as healthy as it has been made out to be, especially in the fitness industry.
It's been played out to be like this wonder drug that cures, superfood, exactly, that cures everything. And it's not that. It's a source of fat.
That's what it is. Source of MCTs, source of saturated fats, which are quite important, as we've addressed. But like everything, don't overdo it.
No.
Keep it in moderation. And if you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to lose body fat, you have to be in caloric deficit. Thermodynamics, man.
But man, as for that, you know, as for what they're trying to preach with that, you know, that high carb, you know, low fat.
That's another episode of the GAINZ Trust.
We know that doesn't work though, don't we?
Absolutely.
You know, like if you look at what's happened over the last 20 years within society everywhere, you know, that high carbohydrate has led to diabetes, has led to, you know, obesity rates. So, you know, that's where, you know, we have to sort of look at what these people are trying to do and whether they do have that agenda behind what the studies that they're doing.
There's always a hidden agenda.
There always is, man.
Always a hidden
always
agenda.
Is.
We want to know what you guys think. Throw a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. Are you a big user of coconut oil? Do you find that it helps you on your health and fitness journey or your general life?
Do you use it a lot?
I don't use coconut oil barely at all.
Yeah, I have a jar and I'll use it, you know, once or twice a week maybe.
Yeah.
But it's not a consistent source.
Honestly, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't like the texture. I don't like taste. I'm not a big coconut oil person. Yeah. It's just my personal opinion. But we're interested to know what you guys think. Throw a comment down below. Let us know. Big Swole, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
I think that's it, man. We could go on, but like I said, I think we need another episode to bash the American Heart Association and the Australian Heart Federation and what they're doing. But
I should probably tell the viewers to hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, man. If you like this video, as we've mentioned, throw down a comment. Let us know your thoughts. There's going to be a bit of a discussion happening. And as always, spread the love. Share this video around. Spread the love on the Massive Joe's YouTube channel. Until next time, Big Swole, where are we coming to and from?
MassiveJoes.com.
Stay